And we back. It's your boy Ant coming back to you live with another BPTV review. You already know me. We're going to go over to my left. We're going to introduce our newest co-host. What's your name?
I'm the Night's Hero. You guys can call me Dre. Call me whatever you want. But I'm the Night's Hero.
Cool. So, the Night's Hero is going to be joining us a lot more frequently these next couple of years, or however long this BPTV thing goes. Forever. He ain't going nowhere. So get used to him.
I'm immortal.
Alright, we're not going to go that far. He's not immortal. And if he tells you he's immortal, call the police because he's slightly crazy. But let's get back into why we're here. Avengers Infinity War. Now, obviously, everyone loves this movie. It's a lot of hype around it. The entire Marvel Cinematic Universe has been building up to this moment. So, did it disappoint? Was it as good as it should have been? Did Marvel drop the ball on yet another villain? This and other answers on the next episode of Avengers Infinity War, because that's pretty much how the movie ended. But we're going to get into that a little later. Also, I just want to let you know, this is going to be a spoilers review. So if you did not see the movie, hit pause, save this video, put it on your to-watch list, come back to it once you've seen the movie, because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. With that being said, you've been warned. Everybody fucking died. What kind of shit is that?
That was the ending to the movie. Like, yeah, pretty much everybody died. You got to see a movie like end, as not very many movies do end, with the bad guy winning. Like, honestly, and that the heroes fought as hard as they possibly could. They had amazing, incredible fights. It was so cool to see. Like, it's just cool. Like, the kid in you has to enjoy seeing some of your favorite Marvel comic book heroes continue to come to life and fight Thanos in this comic book. Like, this comic book come to life that we've all been waiting to see. Like, it was just cool, and then, like, it ended just like the comic book did, which was that Thanos took the W.
He fucked everybody up.
Thanos. Oh, let's speaking of people who got messed up. Let's begin talking about the Hulk.
The Hulk.
What an embarrassing performance by Hulk. I understand.
The unincredible Hulk.
He was not very incredible.
He was very lackluster. The lackluster Hulk. That's what we should call him from now on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I don't know if he was tired from Thor and being on everywhere that he came from, or being on Thor. But
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, but it was just, he got dominated early in the movie, and then even worse, he wouldn't even come out the crib for the rest of the movie. He's just like, no.
He said, no, man. Is Thanos out there? No, Thanos sound like he out there. I ain't coming.
It was embarrassing. He took my boy's stones. Like, honestly, the Hulk, we can't even, like, people don't even respect the Hulk around the hood no more. But like, Hulk try to take somebody, like, try to talk to somebody. Oh, I'm gonna get Thanos to whoop your ass, though. That's
first
what I'm gonna do,
all,
Hulk.
first of all, is he here?
Yeah,
all right, so he ain't here. Well, I'm still not coming out. So that man, yeah. So obviously, the first 5 minutes of the movie, you're right where Thor Ragnarok left off. Hulk is on the ship with Thor. You see everybody laid out. Fucking Heimdall gets stabbed in the fucking chest. Valkyrie is MIA. Nobody knows where Valkyrie is. That's another big question everybody has. Like, where the fuck is Valkyrie? She was a huge part of Thor Ragnarok. She got on that ship. She was there when Thanos' ship showed up. And then everybody dead. So anything will be happening with Valkyrie. Hopefully she comes back, because I love Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. We're going to get to that in a second here. Loki does his little throwback to the first Avengers movie. Oh, we have a Hulk. In comes Hulk. At this point, you know it's a plot device, because Thanos' boy is like, yeah, I'm going to go take him. He's like, no, let him have his fun. And then he proceeds.
He dominates him. He's hitting pressure points on him. He looks like, for our UFC fans, it looks like Daniel Cormier fighting John Jones out there. It was terrible. You did deserve to be out there with that man. Like, he clearly was, I mean, he was overmatched.
It was
like, he may have had some performance enhancers out there. And you shouldn't have been in the ring with him. And, like, he dominated the Hulk, and the Hulk went down hard. And to be fair, everybody on that ship went down hard. Loki tried to do his little Loki thing and try to stab Thanos, and he didn't. That didn't happen. They blew up the ship. They should have finished Thor off.
Rest in peace, Loki.
Yeah, man, Loki's
that nigga real dead. Like
DED.
Dead. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Thanos did the villain thing where he just left Thor alive and then blew up the ship. Obviously, Thor's gonna survive because he's an Asgardian god. So whatever. But yeah, Loki. So for all you Tom Hiddleston Loki fans, that was it. That was it.
I hope you had fun. You was in a lot of movies. You had a good run.
So speaking of good runs, Guardians of the Galaxy show up because obviously they had that distress signal go out. We getting fucked up. Somebody help. And then Steve Mazzagatti, who was refereeing this fight, just let it continue. But then the Guardians of the Galaxy show up. They see Thor floating through the space. What went through your mind at that point with the Guardians of the Galaxy? Were you excited to see them finally get folded into the rest of the MCU?
I'm never really excited to see the guys. I mean, they're cool. I like them. I like Groot. I don't know. And I grew to like them more as the movie grew on. I never really was a huge Guardian of the Galaxy fan before this. I've seen the movies and everything like that, but wasn't a huge fan. This movie did make them more likable. I like Groot had his moment as a teenager where he learned about that he has to help everybody, and he made the handle for the axe for Thor. You got to see the little rabbit be Thor's best friend.
Rocket Raccoon.
Star-Lord had to make what he thought was going to be a terrible choice in his fight against Thanos with her name escapes me. Gamora. When he thought he would have to kill Gamora to try to keep him from...
he did promise on his mother.
Yeah, to give the location... She didn't want to give up the location of the Soul Stone. Doesn't matter. He turned to his Star-Lord's gun into bubbles and then killed Gamora and got the Soul Stone anyway.
That is another thing we're going to go with. Thanos' whole motivation kind of transplanted his love of Lady Death with Gamora, which is... now all of a sudden he has his daughter that he loves, but whatever. It's for the movies, so there's that. Now we're gonna come back to the Guardians of the Galaxy later. There was during all this time a whole bunch of crazy shit going down on Earth. We got to see Doctor Strange finally meet up with Tony Stark. You know how they are. They're both with their witty quips and shit. So
they don't like each other.
They don't. For
sarcastic people often don't like it when people are sarcastic with them.
It's like, don't you dare say that sarcastic thing to me as I sarcastically insult you. But then you have Peter Parker, Spider-Man shows up, and then they're Wong, Stephen Strange, Tony Stark, Peter Parker. They're all fighting the Dark Order, who had gone to Earth to retrieve the which stones were on Earth? The Time Stone, which Doctor Strange has, and the Mind Stone, which was with Vision. So they're down there trying to get those stones, and they just fuck everybody up. Or actually,
yeah, when they first come to New York, they pretty much lay waste to everybody. Nobody's able to contend with them at all. They quickly subdue Doctor Strange. And are able to start taking him to go meet up with Thanos on Titan. But it was just a matter of time before Iron Man, who had a pretty decent fight in New York against Squidward, and old boy when he came to Earth, and he stows away on the ship and that ends up being important. Like the whole movie for them is that they end up going off.
Their whole storyline goes off into space,
into the ship, and then they end up using that same ship to land on Titan to fight Thanos.
And that's a huge plot point we're also going to come back to in a moment here. Now, also on Earth, you had in Scotland, I believe it was, where Vision and Wanda are having their secret rendezvous, but apparently it wasn't that big of a secret. because as they're doing whatever it is they're doing, I don't know what
They're
you do
in
with an
love.
android. I don't know. It's like I guess
They're in love with each other. It's beautiful.
Vision's
Like,
technically
honestly,
a sex robot now or something. I don't know. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. They're in love, bro. It's beautiful. It does. We don't need to understand it, bro.
All right,
It's
cool.
just
All right,
love.
man. It's 2018. Like, love is love. So Vision and Wanda are off doing their thing. Then all of a sudden, another portion of the Black Order shows up. Vision gets stabbed for one of many times in this movie. That man gets stabbed more than a white woman in a slasher flick. But that. All right. So they have their fight there. Then all of a sudden, you see Cap show up. You see Falcon, and who else was it with them? It was Black Widow. Can't forget Black Widow. Love Black Widow. So don't she killed her nigga. Like she went out there. Black Widow was very stabby in this movie. Also, she went and she stabbed some people with their own weapons. So
She has no powers.
her power is being badass. But again, we're gonna
Power
get to that.
is being a badass and lying, but all women have that power.
That's another video for another time. Okay, so as bad as Black Widow is, noticeably missing Clint and Ant-Man. So obviously Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming soon. So whatever it is that Ant-Man's doing, he's off doing whatever. Clint, I don't know. Maybe they just decided to sit him out this movie for. I mean, I don't know. What was he gonna do? Like
Shoot
stuff?
Thanos.
Like
With
I don't know.
I didn't miss. Okay.
okay, so you
Shot
didn't miss. All right,
Thanos
so
with a bow and arrow. That wasn't gonna do much, bro.
he probably turned that shit into bubbles also.
Probably.
Okay, so yeah, so Clint for obvious reasons, sitting off on the side. So they're missing in action, but they also bring up the fact that they're missing action. But of course, that was inconsequential anyway, because as all of this is happening on Earth, back into space, Thor, obviously without Mjolnir because it was destroyed by Hela in Ragnarok, went off to get another weapon made by a giant dwarf played by an actual dwarf, Peter Dinklage. So I guess that's kind of a meta thing going there. Irrelevant. Thor jumpstarts a star, gets his weapon made, and then we don't see him for a while after that.
That was a good moment for Thor, like, cause I don't know. You don't want to think too much of him as Thor. Well, you're in danger with Thor sometimes. Is he's all the hammer or all the axe now?
Yeah.
And like that moment where you saw how powerful just Thor is, where he's able to hold open the star. Excuse me, hold open the door to the forge while the star's energy like just goes through him,
Shoots through.
and like it's a whole star, like it's a star, and he is able to withstand that star for a long time, and is able to do it long enough so that
The little
they
rabbit was there
they can make
to
the axe.
watch, I guess.
Yeah, he was cool too.
I like Rocket.
So was Groot.
I mean, yeah, teenage Groot with his teenage angst was dope. Like him and his dynamic with everyone. It was just him and his Game Boy, and that was Groot for the movie.
Groot is not here for this. He was not here for this
Groot
at all
was not
today.
here for this.
I have time for you guys. It's like a lot of
You
13
ruining
to
my
16.
life, and then like he went
You
off.
guys just don't
You
understand.
don't understand me, Dad. But yeah, so Groot's major contribution to this film was he created the handle to Thor's new axe, and that was the extent of Groot, which worked for this film because there were so many characters trying to make Groot like more integral to the plot, but it probably just made it more convoluted. So he did what he was there to do. Purpose served. Now, all this going on in the galaxy, you have the Mad Titan Thanos. He's out collecting stones. So he raids the nowhere, go grabs the, I forget which stone that was. I don't remember. Whichever one the collector had. They get there, like Star-Lord, Gamora, Mantis, and Drax get there, and all they see is nothing. And then they run into what they think is Thanos. Turns out to be like a Force Ghost or something. I don't know what they did with that. But Thanos was the Reality Stone. That's the one that the Collector had, because they realized too late that Thanos had altered reality and nowhere was actually destroyed, and Thanos was there because Gamora killed Thanos, and then she realized it wasn't Thanos, as Thanos was laughing at her for crying because she killed Thanos. So what do you think about the whole Gamora Thanos plotline?
Thanos. I don't know. I've seen a lot of reviews with like Thanos saying that they like him because he's, I don't know, his whole plot or whatever. And the only thing that I could see that was likable about Thanos was his affinity or his affection for, basically in his mind, was his daughter, which would make Thanos an enemy that killed his own daughter. So that doesn't make him more likable to me. So I don't understand you guys out there with that. But I mean, that it humanized him a little
to an extent, but
yeah, and then it dehumanized him
on the
ultimately.
same token, for everything that you love about him and Gamora's relationship, he totally shits on Nebula. Like, just poor Nebula. Like, she's out here just trying to be a good daughter, and Thanos is like, yeah, fuck you, you're not the one I love. So yeah,
She tried to kill him.
she did try to kill him, but that's only after he fucking tortured her for her entire life, and then made her hate her sister, who he also kidnapped. But yeah, that whole Stockholm syndrome thing there that Gamora had going, where she kind of felt a way about Thanos. You get that backstory of how Thanos came about Gamora, where he just took over her planet, killed half the population, her mother included. But he tried to be, nice about it. He didn't let her watch the massacre. So, I mean, if there's going to be a genocide, why not keep the kids safe? Except for the kids who were also involved in the genocide.
Half the kids.
Yeah.
Which is why Thanos is not likable.
Yeah. And then it goes his whole motivation for destroying half of populations is because his own planet succumbed to its own greed, I guess, and imploded on itself. And you find out that about Titan in the movie as well. As we get to Titan, we're going to go back to Tony Stark, Stephen Strange, and Peter Parker.
But before we move on there real quick, just one last thought about Thanos. So, you are killing half of everyone in creation because you want there to be enough resources for people. But you have the Reality Stone, which can basically create any reality, or the Time Stone, which can turn back time. So why don't you just create a reality where there's like planets with nothing but crazy amounts of resources for people to use? That way they don't die.
Listen, let's not logic our way into a corner here, all right? Plot. All right, that's why. Plot. Also plot, Red Skull came back. I forgot to mention that. Red Skull, who we have not seen since the first Avenger, who was played by Hugo Weaving in the first movie, was played by the guy from The Walking Dead, I forget his name. But he was not played by Hugo Weaving, but he did a great job anyway. I couldn't tell the difference at first until I read the credits. But Red Skull came back. He was the guardian of the Soul Stone. Thanos threw Gamora to her death so he can retrieve the Soul Stone. Gamora's not coming back. She's done for.
She got thrown off a cliff, bro.
Yeah, that's
and then
important.
Thanos went and took a bath or something like that. He just laid
like,
in the water.
Like,
I don't know what he was doing.
He was just like, oh man, this is refreshing. And then he just
killed my daughter.
Gets up and just like
take
teleports.
A nice long bubble bath.
Yeah, he teleports back to Titan because he's supposed to rendezvous with Squidward, who was bringing Stephen Strange with the Time Stone to Thanos. So
on that planet, when he gets to Titan, takes place one of the best fights that we've ever seen. Where we saw Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Star-Lord.
Oh yeah, that whole when they all met, when they they first get there, when the Guardians get there, and when Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Parker get there, and they all start fighting because they both sides think, obviously having never met each other, that they work for Thanos. So
oh yeah. They all they they were about to kill each other, and then they're like, "You, I don't know exactly how it went, but
who do you serve? Like, who do I serve?
something like you
Like,
serve
yeah.
Thanos or something like that."
Like,
I was like,
no.
"Who do I serve? Jesus?"
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Jesus?
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're from Earth, and then everybody just like starts taking off masks and shit because that's how this cinematic universe works. Nobody's identity is secret anymore.
Nah, not at all.
So, oh man, so on when Thanos does get back to Titan, they've everyone there had hatched an elaborate scheme to take down Thanos for all the good that did. It was a well fought battle. Like they did their best, but at that point Thanos had what the Reality Stone, the Power Stone, Soul Stone, and which other one? Because the only two remaining at that point were the Time Stone and the Mind Stone.
The Reality Stone?
Oh yeah, the Tesseract, because he got that one at the beginning. Which one was the Tesseract?
Did we already say Reality Stone?
The Reality Stone. That's the one he got from the Collective.
Whatever the Tesseract.
I don't know. I forgot which one the Tesseract is. Somebody in the comments remind me. I'm sure that'll come up anyway because you guys love to shit on people for making mistakes. But yeah, back into this movie. So Thanos, being Thanos, fucks everybody up. But he threw a fucking moon at them, and then Tony got pissed off. He's like, "Throw another fucking moon at me, I dare you." And then Thanos just punched him in the face and stabbed him.
Yeah, it was one cool part where I don't know. There was like an action scene where like Tony did all this shit and threw something at him, and Thanos was like, "You did all that for a little drop of blood."
He said for a drop of blood.
And then he proceeds to finish owning Iron Man, and Doctor Strange at that point gives up the Time Stone. Well, Doctor Strange, excuse me, he had a good fight with Thor.
Thanos.
With Thanos. He actually got, as far as like going head up against Thanos,
Squidward,
one of the like top people actually able to hold his own and actually able to survive. Like nobody was able to beat Thanos, obviously, but like able to survive, and they should actually to like make Thanos have to do more work than anybody else did. Or than a lot of other people did. So, Doctor Strange is high up on the list of most powerful people.
Oh, absolutely. Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful people in the cosmos, but they obviously dumbed down his abilities for the Marvel Cinematic Universe because, honestly, if Doctor Strange was at his real power, then it wouldn't be, like, the movies wouldn't be that compelling. So, but I will say this. The way they fought together, absolutely amazing. Yeah, Doctor Strange teleporting Spider-Man through all kinds of dimensions and shit. He's also doing the same with Star-Lord. Star-Lord's throwing up the middle finger. Drax is making Drax jokes. Mantis was getting saved by Peter Parker for most of the fight, actually. And then, until she came in handy. And then you have the dumbest decision in the movie. They're literally ripping the gauntlet off of Thanos' hand. And what happens? Peter fucking Quill decides he's just going to say, screw that, you killed my girlfriend, so I'm going to just let you destroy the universe or some shit. I don't know. What did you think about that? Do you feel like that decision was would he have won if Star-Lord had not done what he did?
I mean, Doctor Strange said he looked at 14 million possibilities and they lost in every.
I'm sure Peter had something to do with
possibility
about at least
one. Yeah,
10 million.
I don't know if he's the reason why they lost a lot of those, but I don't know. They didn't get the gauntlet off. Maybe the gauntlet came. I don't know. We'll see. Can the gauntlet even come off? I don't know.
That's the thing. Peter literally had the gauntlet in his hand, taking it off the like it was. You can see his fingers, and then Peter does what he does. So just Thanos comes out of his trance, fucking grabs the gauntlet, puts it back on, finishes owning them, and then at the same time this is going on, let's go back to Earth, because in Wakanda they're setting up, trying to destroy the Mind Stone, and there's a giant, I don't know, like an army of space dog creatures.
They look like diet venoms or something like
Yeah,
that.
they were like, I don't know, disposable enemies. They was just
Yeah.
like
The putties.
cannon fodder. Yeah, they were super putties. So the super putties are like attacking Wakanda, and obviously Wakanda they're like very cut off from the world. So all they have, the only fighting force they have is at this point Captain America, Bruce Banner, because the Hulk was being a bitch the entire movie. So Bruce Banner was there. Um, all the tribes of Wakanda, even the Jabari tribe, came down from the mountain to take place of this. And as you know, there's some tension there, but that we didn't get into that. They're all just standing their ground, waiting for these creatures to attack and break through the force field around Wakanda, and eventually they bring down the force field of their own volition because they didn't want Vision to be captured, so they just trying to funnel the enemy towards them. Crazy battle ensues. One of my favorite fights with the Dora Milaje. Actually, no, it was just Okoye. Okoye, Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch, when she finally decided to join the fray, took down. I keep forgetting the names of the Black Order, but the chick from the Black Order, and that was one of my favorite fights of the movie. And then from there, back up to Titan. Thanos literally runs through Tony Stark. Like, he just takes whatever, I don't know what it was, but he just stabbed him straight through. He's about to kill him, but he didn't. Stark ended up being saved, so that was the moment everybody thought, this is it! We called it, Tony's dying. Tony did not die. He did not. And in fact, he lived to regret the fact that he did not die, because back on Earth, while there's major wars happening, Thanos decided he's going to phase back there and
finish everybody out.
I'm sad. I'm sad again.
What are you saying, bro?
Because we just had to watch like, Mr. Stark, I'm cold. I'm so cold.
Oh yeah. Well, let's go back to Wakanda. Thanos goes back to Wakanda, and he completely owns everybody. Yeah. Like, honestly, there were some people. We saw Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch has got some work there, and really, it wasn't until he wasn't able to defeat Scarlet Witch until he actually got the Mind Stone.
True.
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. And at that point, Thor decided he was going to make an appearance.
Yeah,
too.
Thor is clearly with the axe might be the most powerful Avenger. Like, he's going in.
He's hands down the most powerful Avenger.
Yeah, Thor got some work.
Yeah, he is mighty. So Thanos wins because he does snatch the Mind Stone, because Thor decided to throw his axe at his chest, which is covered in plated armor, and not his head, which Thanos makes a point to mention, as he says, you should have went for the head, and proceeds to... And half of the universe is wasted away to ash. So we get the joy of seeing Black Panther fade away to nothing.
He didn't even do that much.
He didn't get to do much, but he is definitely dead. We get to see Peter Parker fade away to nothing. Peter Quill fade away to nothing. We get to see pretty much everyone that you came to enjoy and love over the last decade just pretty much die. And all we're left with is a bitch-ass Hulk who still refuses to come out. An emaciated Tony Stark who's completely just broken up because he just led a kid to his death. And you have who else? Bucky's gone. So yeah, it's all you Winter Soldier fans. Yeah, the White Wolf is no more. And pretty much everyone's just left to mourn.
Fury.
Oh yeah. So at this point, Thanos just decides he's going to go chill on a farm because, that's what you do after you destroy half the universe. You just go watch the sunset on a vacant planet somewhere. And then the credits roll. And at that point, you realize two things. One, what's the nigga's name from the Watchmen? Ozymandias from the Watchmen had a point because they literally had the same ending. Thanos won, and their plan to bring about world peace by genocide both came to fruition, and that something was going to happen to reverse some of this because obviously we have other movies coming for Black Panther and Spider-Man, which we won't get to see what happens until 2019 when Avengers Infinity War Part 2 comes out. So overall, the movie was amazing. Like it was great, amazingly paced. Action was on point. The plot made sense throughout. Characters that needed to be developed were developed, and everyone's motivation for doing what they were doing was well presented. And then at the end of the credits, we see Nick Fury, and he pretty much is just watching the world go to shit. Because at the same time, I'm thinking, wait, if Thanos just fucking raptured everybody, shouldn't it be like planes falling from the sky? And at that point, you see helicopters start crashing, cars start crashing, Nick Fury vanishing, and then you see him drop his pager from the 90s. And on that pager, what do we see?
The symbol for Captain Marvel, who will be a major player, I suppose, in the future events, and trying to see how everybody actually comes back from being turned to ash.
That's right. Never sleep on the Nova Corps. So we'll see. I don't remember when Captain Marvel's movie is coming out, but it's coming soon. I think that's actually going to show up before Spider-Man Homecoming 2, or I don't even know if they're going to call it Homecoming 2, but whatever the Spider-Man 2 movie is. So that's going to be coming up, obviously, before the next Infinity War movie. So, all in all,
overall, I felt like it was a good movie beginning to end. Like Ant said, it was action packed. The story overall was great, and it stayed true to like that comic book come to life feeling. I don't feel like if you were a fan of the comic books, and I was like I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore fan, but like if you were a fan of the comic books, I think you still enjoyed this movie. You weren't like, oh my goodness, they betrayed me. Again, it was a good. They developed the villain very well. There were some people to the point apparently where some of y'all just love him. It was a great movie all around. It was everything that we expected to see. We already see the large amounts of cash that they're pulling in from it. So you know they're going to continue to pull out these movies, and it's why they left us on a major cliffhanger.
Let's just take a moment to think about that. Like in the last couple months alone, Black Panther made like $1.5 billion.
$1 billion worldwide.
This movie is on pace to actually break that record as of right now.
$250 million
opening weekend. This has been it's been 3 days, and it's the number one movie ever debuting worldwide. Hand over fist, these motherfuckers is rolling though. They got a Scrooge McDuck vault. Actually, absolutely have a Scrooge McDuck vault at Disney.
Just let me sit next to Stan Lee on the bus like they did. Let me get.
Hey man, I'm trying to be friends with Kevin Feige. Like, yo, my G, like, I mean, hook me up, bro. Hook me up.
Let me get in the movie.
Let me be in Spider-Man
Wakanda
too.
extra.
Yeah, man. Wakanda forever.
I like M'Baka, right?
You do not look like M'Baka. Alright. This movie could absolutely use some Deadpool though, because I feel like Deadpool and Thanos going at it. I mean, it probably wouldn't have went in this movie how I wanted to, but it definitely would have been fun to watch that. Kind of wish that we did have more of the Marvel heroes from the comic books in this. Like, obviously, we're missing all of the X-Men in this storyline, but still, all in all, it is a well-served story with the amount of characters that they had in it. So,
good movie.
Great movie. So out of 10, what are you giving
it? I give it a 10 out of 10. All around great movie. Not really too much bad that you could say about the movie. Like, honestly, great story, great action. Like, it's really good. Yeah,
that's a bold claim.
It's a good movie. Like, just not too much bad that you could really say about the movie. It's just really a great movie all around. Like, great story, action packed beginning to end. It wasn't really like a point where I'm like, oh, I'm boring. Like this was the type of movie that when you drink that big large soda that you always have to piss by the end of the movie, you hold it because you didn't
Or
really
just pee your pants because whatever.
Somebody called me.
It's not your. It's not your problem. It's not. So, with that being said, I'm going to actually give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It was a really good movie. There were some flaws in it. I'm not going to say it was a perfect movie by any means, but it was very good. It was an enjoyable watch. There was, I'm not going to say some pacing issues, but there were some minor issues with, because there were so many characters, it was like they had to jump around a lot. So there's some scenes I would like to have stayed with for a little longer. But overall, the movie itself was very entertaining. It was a great watch. I'm not going to nitpick it too much because it's only half of a movie, to be honest. So there's still more to this film. So I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. So with that being said, tell us how you thought about the movie. Tell us down in the comments below. You're gonna like, comment, and subscribe. The subscribe button's gonna be right here over top of Dre's head, like right there in that corner, right there. So don't forget to tell us exactly what you thought about not only this review but the movie itself. So that being said,
I'm the Night's Hero.
I'm Ant. This has been another Bench Play TV movie review. Have a good one, folks, and thank you for stopping by.
Adios.
Oh yeah, don't forget to go check out the Twitch. We
Bye-bye.
also have another YouTube channel, BPTV Streams, where you'll see this guy streaming. Right now, we're just God of War. What's next for you?
I don't know, whatever game.
I don't know. So we're gonna think of something. But as of right now, God of War. So if you guys want to see more of him, absolutely stop by again. Go stop by BPTV Streams. Go see Cheese over at the Twitch channel. And for now, we are signing off.